Hi, I'm Billie Ortiz and I created the Waking the Dreamer Within Festival. And it all came to me in an inspiration because I've done dream retreats for the past 10 years with Jeremy Taylor. And through that time we've developed a community. A community of people has coalesced through the dream retreats. We finished our 20th retreat first weekend of May 2013. And each of these people have developed their own talents with healing and dream work and art. And I decided to showcase each of them in their own individual way by creating something where we can have several different classes going on at the same time. And so this is the first Waking the Dreamer Within Festival, where we have at least 3 classes going at the same time. We've had Taslagi Dance of Life, and we've had Community Mandala Dreaming, as well as Dreamwork. So I wanted everybody to know just how wonderful and talented these people are and how much enriching it would be for them to expand their consciousness through all these different modalities. So I wanted to go past the dream work into the realm of creativity. And that's how the Waking the Dreamer Within Festival was created.
Everybody dreams, whether they remember it or not, which means, among other things, that everyone is participating in this collective effort, whether we are aware of it or not.
We speak in the language of metaphor, which teaches us all to see everything from an imaginal, symbolic language. And by doing this, it creates the ability it stimulates our imagination.
Stay in it. Definite. You're confident. You're powerful. You're amazing.
Rules. As if you were the narrator in the movie.
Bring it to your heart. Offer that to Mother Earth. Bring it to your heart. Offer that to Father Sky. Arms down gently. Now we're in the north. Let me step into the north. Gather the energies of the north. Bring it to your heart. Offer that to the south. Gather the south to your heart.
It does get loud. That will last for just a couple minutes. And then it's
The basic message of every remembered dream is wake up, pay attention. There is a creative, transformative, elegant, effective role for your waking life to play in the further unfolding of whatever it is that is being given symbolic shape in the dream.
So when we do these practices together, we're actually threading that dream, which is the collective dream, so that we can evolve consciousness. And that's another thing that both Billie and Jeremy really talk about, is that our dreams are working in the service of health and healing, not only on an individuated personal level, but more importantly, on the collective level.
Wake up to your magnificence. So advice for a tree, for me, was something that touched people, and it appeared on Oprah and the Today Show, and over 3 million TV t-shirts, bookmarks around the world, translated into 6 languages. I never knew that that would be possible, and I always knew it was possible. We have everything in our accessibility through our dreams, through our waking dreams, through our hopes and dreams.
I've been trying to understand dreams for a very long time. In Molecules of Emotion, I wrote that dreams were God whispering in your ear, because I sense that they are much more than, emanations of your brain or even emanations of your body. In my lecture, I talked about the science of dreams, and it's vibrations. It's really a great link to the world of energy and energy medicine, because emotions, they're really the link to the spirit world. They're the space, the transition space between the physical and the spiritual.
I thought what we could do is go around and does anyone have an experience that they think that they could see it as a waking dream?
So I want you to call up a memory of something that had happened to you that's similar. You start out, you go back, and then you come back to it. Call up the memory, because what we're doing is trying to get in touch with the energy. Because the energy of that memory is going to make us understand what it's like for people who are dying to do dream reentry. Because as dreamers, we're going to help facilitate that.
And what she does with that story from now on to develop it is up to Mary. But it sounded like it was ready to go to me. Didn't you think so? Mm-hmm. It was really, really to the point.
Oh, thanks.
And the voice you used as your narrator was appropriate, right? So
I guess as the story develops, I'll get more of my own humor
and you'll include
irreverence.
You'll include dream observations and interpretations and everything. Sounds really good. Okay.
I was drawn to the festival because of the diversity of offerings. I especially enjoyed the creative writing and poetry workshops and the sound workshops, the gong and the drumming.
It's been really a privilege to meet Jeremy Taylor and do some dream work with him. And just everybody at this conference has been fabulous, very heart-centered and compassionate.
It is at very least in Dreamworker talk an archetypal metaphor of individual experience and spiritual work echoing into the realm of the collective. And practical dreamwork folk know that those images resonate with deep truths in the dreamers' lives. They have ahas. So those images are remembered in part because of the unconscious associations with archetypal imagery that they carry.
Since it's a poetry workshop, I would like to offer a poem. These are the dreams I am left with. The long, slow, sinister dreams where shadows loom and monsters lurk in dark backyards. I had thought there'd be angels or birds or at least some bright color to show that I had stepped the right step, walked my path with conviction, if not courage, loved the unlovable. But the celebrations of dreams are more ephemeral than the fierce lessons. Like the man with the knife who laughs as I try to call 911 on a broken phone that never had a 9 to begin. That's a poem that obviously came off of Dreamwork. And that was one that, I've been writing for a long time. That one came out almost exactly the way that I said it today.
Brenda and I collaborate. We both dream, and then we share the dreams that we've had for usually a period of about a month. And then Brenda creates this beautiful imagery of the dreams, and then I write the poetry and a commentary, and then some questions for meditation and contemplation to help draw that archetype out of a person. We think of that as the alchemy of the soul, just really spending a lot of time with those dreams, with those archetypes, and letting them take us through whatever's going on in our lives.
The first dream that was shared during our workshop involved a woman holding a little child, a baby. And so we had her select from our 8 cards, initiate cards, and she chose Divine Child. And she couldn't see the illustration. She was looking at the backs. Randomly picked that card.
My book, Living in the Shadow of the Too Good Mother archetype, has a chapter called The Paradox of Parenting, and paradox shows up a lot in dream work because the idea of a paradox is 2 opposites that exist together. So yesterday we had women talking about their paradox and how it shows up in parenting, and they would put them on little pieces of paper, the paradoxes in their parenting experience, and then we created a box to help contain the paradox by covering it in things that are helpful in holding the tension of the opposites.
So for the next 2 or 3 minutes, I want you to take your flower and just observe it. So the heart-shaped life is about how we shape our reality, not from the mental constructs, but from the perceptions of the heart, being fully present and observing without preconceived notions. We're just opening our heart to have an opportunity to perceive. There's all these layers, just like there's layers to our dreams. And we peel away to the deeper layers when we let ourselves just experience things.
Just had a gong bath, and it works on a vibrational level. In the process that we just did, I used 2 gongs, 2 Paiste planetary gongs. The earth gong is tuned to 136.1. In Vedic tradition, that is the main key that they tune, or the note that they tune their instruments to, as well as what some people say is the sound of Om.
The people I've had a chance to meet and talk to at the conference have been inspiring. Just came out of the gong bath, and so we're kind of like bathed in the energy of that, so I'm feeling very good about that. Jeremy's talk I enjoyed as well too, so it was great. And I'll look forward to putting a notepad next to my bed and seeing if I can recover some of my dreams.
These are the props we use for dream portrayal. We mostly use fabric because we want it to be just a sense of the energy and not literal. And the fabric often becomes the whole set. We put it on the floor, we put it on chairs, we put it on people. And a person puts on a mask, they feel different, and they also look extremely different.
If there was a tree, I know there was a tree.
What would represent the tree?
Or oak or something like that.
In the dream,
In dream portrayal, we talk about the dream, and then we act it out. And the dreamer becomes a movie director. Where are we? Yeah, where?
You need to
In
place
the dream.
people, I think.
You're lying down with?
Yeah, I'm lying down, so.
Next to him?
We tell people we're not trying to create a performance or reenact the dream. Literally, we are trying to symbolically get the essence of the dream.
We've all been in this conference, and each of us, as we go to different sessions, it's like we're weaving this new tapestry, and we take things from here and take things from there, be it shadow work, the inner work, listening to the dream work, bringing up these emotions. If we choose to feel into them, we can actually tap into them, release them from our nervous system. The tapping, which I'll share with you, emotional freedom technique, is a way of also tapping out those emotions.
If there is that healing needed, that's going to show up in my dreams. And today I think we saw that really come forth, and wow, it was so powerful.
Yeah.
And that's not the first time, obviously, that's happened.
Yes,
It's
a fairly common thing in constellation work, and it's a piece of soul work.
We did projective dream work with that dreamer, and then Jan set up a constellation based on that dream, and I think there was an amazing amount of healing and a lot of depth, and it really constellated into something that the dreamer really needed to know from the dream, at least on one level.
I feel like what the question I ask when I'm doing the constellation this form is asking the dream what it still wants to show and tell to the dreamer.
For me, what I've seen is in today and yesterday's work that we did, it's like when Dorothy pulls back the curtain and we see Oz, you know, it's like what we thought was behind that curtain is something totally different. And that information is so empowering to the dreamer. And to everyone in the room, really, it's like, whoa, it's cool.
In the constellation, one of the amazing things that happens is several roles are chosen based on the projective dream work and also maybe aspects of the person's life. And people are asked to represent or stand in for all of these, placed by the client kinesthetically. And what happens is, for the first time, if it's your first constellation, you're literally walking in someone else's shoes, which, having that deep understanding of another person's psyche and yet how all of us humans are so connected, how much pain and suffering we all carry, and that we can give it back in time to where it belongs instead of it having us buried for our lives. There's huge and vast impacts from this work. I have great passion for it.
So when we think about, well, what is my shadow when we have an interaction or conflict with somebody? I would never act that way. I would never do that. I can't stand being around this person. That is energy that is our shadow.
So I know that in my family, my brother was the rebel. He was the one that always got into trouble. And I was always the good girl, the pleaser, because I was the middle child. So it's those roles we play. So anything that is not that, we shove down, we disown, we put away because it's not acceptable in our family of origin. And then from the bigger picture, then it's also cultural. And so it's that whole challenge of the cultural belief versus what we've come up with in our families of origin.
When you have a place to share, it's like the unconscious gets the suggestion, like, oh, this is important. You know, I really should hold on to this.
Yeah.
And that's another piece I didn't say. A lot of times we're not encouraged to remember our dreams. We all have dreams that we remember from years ago. And are those still relevant? And yes, they are. If I have a dreamer that still remembers something vividly from a dream, I would highly suggest working on it.
This workshop is about finding our power and using the drum as a simple tool. We have our dreams. You could be drumming our dreams. We could take that and we could anchor. For me, I dream or I think and then I write poetry about it. It's about bringing it down, bringing the spirit down deeper. It will be the drum. Move our bodies. Okay, and it comes with your body is connected to the stick. So it's not here, it's your whole body into it.
Dance of life is a dance of the divine feminine, and it allows us to balance all of the directions within our own bodies. How that relates to dreaming for me, and especially for these dream retreats, is that we are so in our heads, and when we're looking even at the dreams, which is all metaphor and symbolism and right brain, we're not moving while we do that. So one of the ideas in this particular retreat was to make sure that we were looking at all the different modalities, the healing, the ability to work with integration through physicality, as well as the mental aspects. So the Tslagi dance really lends itself well because a lot of times while you're doing the dance, you'll end up with metaphors, you end up with insights, you end up feeling as though you're having direct contact with the indwelling self, the part of you that's guiding you. To the east, to your heart. Really feel this energy moving.
The images in mandalas are very much like dream images because what comes to us in our dreams is symbolic. And same thing with what the symbols represent when we bring them to the mandala. Working in dream groups and doing that as a group gives us a deeper level of what that means. It's the same thing with the mandala. So what images we bring into the circle are also images that we work with that are symbolic of something that's in our unconscious. So this is a collective mandala, which is kind of fun because we're bringing to the collective what each of us individually are seeing. We all visualized what a world of peace and harmony would be like in a meditation. We put on the board the different images that came up in people's meditation.
The words were, my friend, my friend, my friend. And so we found these two people who are walking next to each other, and this will be part of our mandala.
Tonight about dreams and their relationship to the evolution of consciousness. Dreams play a crucial role in the evolution of our individual self-awareness. My experience convinces me that collective human consciousness evolves only in individuals. It's not as though it happens off in some big cauldron somewhere, and when it reaches the right temperature, it all gets delivered to us. It doesn't work that way. We do it. Tibetan Buddhists say that one of the most important spiritual disciplines that anyone can engage in is the cultivation of the ability to get lucid in one's dreams.
It's been a great weekend. I've made tons of new friends, and I've learned something more about dream work and my own dreams and connecting to them myself. So thanks again. It's been great.
I'm so delighted to be at this festival. Billie Ortiz and Jeremy Taylor and all of the presenters are so wonderful. I think that the dream work is extremely important, and for me personally it has helped me with my undigested pieces of my life, and I'm very grateful.
I'm a professional keynote speaker, and I came here drawn in some mysterious way. It was an antidote, actually, to the life I'm leading in Rockville, Maryland, where I'm intensely involved with my company that's raising money to cure lots of diseases. So this is the spirit world out here. It was extremely interesting. These people out here, these dream workers, Billie and Brenda, they are really a very evolved step. They've broken loose of Jungians and Freudians and people who do dream analysis locked in dogma. They do it in a way that's incredibly advanced. They do it at a space somewhere between art and metaphor, and they're incredibly healing dream workers, and they're brilliant, and I really enjoyed participating in this conference.